Hi there. I just wanted to march you through the guidelines for the National Parks Project and make sure there are no questions. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to just kind of compare the rubric to some model from last year, a student who produced some excellent work from last year, and I'll point out some things that they did right and things they could have corrected. So you'll see the rubric is just really spelled out slide by slide. If you want to include more, that's okay, but it will simplify the presentation and the grading if you do it in this order. Slide number 1 should have your name, the title, and the photo of the park, and look what this student has. Their name, A-level student, I've changed it, the photo of the park, and the title. There's also a citation to where they got the photo. So every photograph should have a citation about where they got the picture. And here's the one thing I would comment about this student's work. The citation isn't fleshed out enough. I need to know precisely where on Britannica this photo came from. So there should be more to this URL than is there. But excellent work. Okay, so next slide should be a pretest. Minimum of 3 questions, maximum of 5 about the park, and 2 of the questions should be about its geology. The other question can be about the culture or the history or the recreation events or controversies, whatever. So there should be the questions, and then you should be ready to answer those questions or show us the answer on the next slide. So let's see what the student did. She has a pretest, just giving away the sex of the student. So she has questions about the mineral type and the rock type. Those are 2 excellent geology questions. And then she has other questions about the history of the park and the geography of the park. And those questions are answered on the next slide. So there they are. Let's see what the next thing is on the rubric. Location slide should show the name of the park, the nearest large city in the state, latitude and longitude. Here's how to get that. The elevation above sea level should show a U.S. map and kind of how far away this park is from Kansas City. So did they do that? Yeah, they did. Name of the park, and they say that the nearest city is in Bettles, Alaska. There's the latitude and longitude, there's the elevation of the park, and they've given us the distance from Kansas City. Fantastic. Next is a map of the park which shows the features of the park and the road map, and also the climate. This student did a map of the park right there. It also included they also included a more detailed map of the park there with information about the climate. So you can see throughout the whole year, average temperatures, highs and lows. That's good. Average precipitation. That is dry park, by the way. Okay, and then history of the park on slide 5. So when did it become a park, and some other piece of the park's history. And there it is. The human history of the park goes back a long ways. Anyway, I'm not giving you a tour of the park. I'm giving you a tour of the presentation, and it is all there. You can see that we have when the park became a national park and some history about the park prior to that. Now, the meat of the slideshow. 4 slides should tell us about these geologic features. Your park may not have all of them, but it definitely has a lot of geology happening there. And you need to dig into it and explain it to me and to the students. So you're going to read through this description and then tell us what the story of the geology is. And this student told us about the tectonic movements and the rock types, weathering at the park, and mineral resources at the park. So excellent choices of geology. Then there's more on the geology, so don't skimp on that. And then the big question is what's happening there today geologically. And they point out today there's continuing to be weathering and erosion, and also consideration of mining at the place. You notice again, every single picture has a citation attached to it. Some people put the citations beside or below the photograph rather than right on the photograph. It's up to you, as long as it's legible. And then your choice slide. You should show us some information about the controversy or the history not mentioned, or some cultural features or recreational activities, or something else that's that you haven't said about the park. And here, this person did some interesting things about things that happen in the park, some trivia about the park, access to it, that kind of thing that they hadn't mentioned previously. Now, question or slide 12, why should you visit this park? And this person has several bullet points about why. So good work. Then you have a post-test. So 3 questions, maximum of 5. 2 of them must be about the geology, and they should have been covered in your slideshow. So this person has 4 questions. You'll see that there are 2 questions about the geology and 2 that this person, and all 4 of these are covered in the slideshow. So if we were paying attention, it should have been stuff that we could have picked up on. And then finally, or not quite finally, a citation page. So again, there are the answers to the questions. Citation page, again, if I follow these links, they're not going to get me to the photograph or the information that the student specifically found. So I need more information than geology.com. If there's a page in geology.com that has information about this park, then link to that page, not to the parent page. Okay, and then a wow photograph on slide number 15. And that wow photograph is definitely a wow. Excellent work, student from last year. Okay, now one more or a few more things. This student shared the file with me this way. The number of class that this person was in, followed by their last name, then underscore, then the name of the park. So what I've got highlighted here is kind of the example of it. 1 number that represents the hour of the class you're in, your last name, underscore, then the name of the park. That just makes it a lot easier to search for these things. Followed by, this student did not plagiarize. She understood everything that she shared with us. She didn't just read information she didn't understand, and she didn't copy and paste somebody else's work. This is non-negotiable. If you don't understand, or if you fear that you have plagiarized, or just want some clarification on what that means, make sure that question's answered before you turn in the project. And not just like 5 minutes before you turn in the project. Make sure it's answered in time for you to correct anything that needs corrected. And whoops. And then photos should have a citation on each slide. This person presented well, didn't just read the slides, but fleshed it out. The slides are there to kind of give us something to look at while you tell us the story. They are not there for you to read to us. We can all read. And then finally, just some general work about the quality of the production there. And then this person did use her time in class very, very well. So you can too, and you can also present yourself some excellent quality work, something along these lines, something that you could be proud of. So go be awesome. Ask me questions if you have them.